It is December 1st, and this is really the first chance I'm going to get this morning to do an interview, let you know what I'm doing. But I'm down here in northeastern Indiana. It is the last day of rifle season, and I'm bow hunting because I'm a non-resident with an archery only tag, so that's why I've got the orange on. But I was down in the dumps a couple weeks ago when I was down here, and I was wanting to quit bow hunting. I was putting in so much work, chasing antler, doing all kinds of things that just took away from the experience, and I wanted to get that experience back. I honestly have not been hunting since then. You know, I've been reading lots of archery books. I have not watched one hunting video. You know, I've been shooting my bow just in the backyard, trying to get an appreciation for bow hunting again. I feel like sometimes with social media, it gets lost on you, and you start chasing likes, loves. You start chasing antler size rather than the experience. And my buddy Ryan is with me, and we wanted to go hunting this morning down in Indiana, and honestly, I don't know, it was just one of those things where you've lost your motivation, and we talked about it on the way down here, and it's late season bow hunting, so if we can shoot a doe, we might do it. And I've only shot a doe down here one time in my life, and that was about the last day of season back in like 2009. So I said that I was going to do that this morning, but deep down, you know, it goes back to, well, I know there's big ones in here, and they're waiting to shoot a big buck, and I love shooting does all day, every day in Michigan when it's a $25 tag. So I always put this stigma on my non-resident Indiana tag that I've got to shoot a buck with it, and it can't be a year and a half or 2.5. It's got to be a big one. So I don't know why I placed that stigma on there. You know, maybe the thing that's helped me is watching some, you know, Red Arrow and some Kip Campbell films where, you know, he's happy to shoot a doe, and he's happy to shoot a little doe. He doesn't care. He's bow hunting. And that's what I got into bow hunting for. I don't know where I lost it along the way, but this year it hit me hard. So I had these 3 does come in, and they had me pegged when they got to about 40 yards, and I didn't see them until they were about 30 yards. So that gives you kind of a clue of, you know, how on edge they were. And there was 3 of them, and there was 1 button buck and 2 does, and that lead doe, she had me pegged the whole time. She came right to 7 yards, and she's standing here staring, burning holes through me. I'm squinting my eyes, I'm holding the bowstring in front of my face, I'm just like trying not to show her anything. You know, I don't even have face paint on or anything this morning, which is, you know, shame on me, but it was raining hard when we came in here, so I didn't really want to mess with it. And eventually, you know, over the course of 10 or 12 minutes, she eases up enough to come out in front of me here, and I flip my Tacticam on, and she's standing in this water puddle, and I hit back full draw, and she looks at me, and she's watching, and I sent it, and it looked like a gorgeous shot. I'm using that Muzzy Trocar HBTI, which leaves a devastating wound, and I saw her run about 30 yards. I didn't see her crash, but I saw a deer run out in the field, looking like it was hurting bad, so I'm hoping that's her. She could be dead right there, I don't know, but in my experience with these broadheads, they're dead quick. So my buddy Ryan's on another property. He's got deer coming as we speak. I called him and let him know what's going on. I was going to donate this deer regardless, whether it was a buck or doe. So it's going to my grandma's food pantry. So I'm just as happy that it's a nice doe, you know, and I'm still on the road in Indiana, filled this tag. So it's a successful hunt regardless. And I'm just happy. I mean, especially because next year, that doe that's, you know, pegging me right now, and start to stomp and bob and weave and stuff. If I come back to this spot next year and I deal with that deer as maybe a 3-year-old or whatever she might be, she's just gaining experience in these woods right now, and she's gained a lot during this rifle season. But I don't need her to gain some from me as a bow hunter, because you know, there's tricks and tactics we do, you know, that we need those deer to get close, and I don't need her busting me next year and blowing a whole hunt, because that's when I could be chasing a big one. So took her out. Couldn't be happier. I know my grandma's food pantry is going to be pretty happy, and I'm just so excited. It's rainy and miserable, but you know, we're warm, cozy, and we're in the woods sending arrows. I got another arrow knocked, but it's not because I'm anything like Chris Brackett. It's simply because we see a lot of coyotes on this property. I'm going to sit here until about 9 or so. I'm going to get down and check that arrow and follow that trail. But not shooting another deer, not looking for another deer. I don't have another deer tag, so if you see this camera come on again, I'm on a coyote, and that's that. So can't wait to show you more. Just got down from the stand. It's pushing 9 o'clock right now. I shot that doe, you know, just before 8, and It's just like, it's kind of a low pressure day. You know, it was raining all night, and then it stopped right about 6:30, and there's just a heavy fog hanging around, and I don't know. It's just, everything said deer hunting this morning was going to be slow because of this low pressure, and we went hunting anyways, and it's going to pay off. So this is the stand I was in right up there. Not very high off the ground, not what I want to sit, but you know, in this brush, it's in this wood lot, it is so thick that it's hard. So check it out. So definitely I gotta say thanks to my brother. We came in here in September and hung this stand. It's a woodlot I hunted last year, and had great rut activity, so I wanted to hang a stand up here, so I had one. And I sat at one time, and they were picking beans that night, didn't see a single deer, you know, because the combine's going by, you know, 35, 40 yards away. So hadn't sat it at all, really. And the wind was iffy this morning for it, but I said, I'm gonna go for it. And, you know, sure enough, it happened for me. So let's go check out this arrow. This is exactly what you want to see when you walk up on an arrow. Complete pass through, covered in blood, hair, the whole bit. It's definitely what you look for. And we'll see if we can get on some blood here. So I grabbed the arrow. There's good blood and hair all the way. Threw it back in the quiver. He likes to be with his buddies, so the quicker you can get him back in the quiver, you know, the happier that arrow is, and then they fly better when they're happy. That's one thing I found in my experience. So gonna get on this blood. I see blood right away, and see where it goes. Well, I followed the trail about 30 yards, and it's been drop, 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 but I'm coming up on where she's starting to open up. And I think I can see a body out in the field, but I'm not sure. You never want to abandon the blood trail, because you never know. And it wasn't raining, you know, when I shot her. It's just been stuff dripping off the trees, and you can already see where that affects the blood trail. But, you know, once it's opening up here, you can see, and I can see bubbles in the blood, and I'm looking at blood 5 yards away. So when you see bubbles that far away, that's a great sign. And just to see my arrow was a great sign. So let's check this out. It's thick and nasty in here, so I apologize. Well, guys, I can tell you, I've never really trailed across open beans before. Well, I did one other time like 10 years ago, and it's rough, it's hard. There's not much blood out here, but I followed heavy blood right to the field, and then, you know, scanning out across the field, you can kind of see some things. So we'll see what we see, but blood trailing's been hard here, so I don't know. Oh wait, there she is. So let's get right up to her, check her out. And I absolutely smoked her. She didn't make it, you know, she maybe only made it 100 yards tops. She died on the run, which is exactly what you want these animals to do. Not my biggest doe at all, and didn't really care either. It's a doe that was very smart, and I wanted that one gone, because next year you never know. I might not hunt here next year. You never know. Life happens fast, so you got to take it when you can get it. And if you're praying for deer and deer meat, and you get deer and deer meat, it's hard to pass those. So just glad I got to put my tag on a doe and not a young buck. You know, you don't want to do that if you're looking for big ones, but I'll gladly take a doe any day of the week, and I absolutely smoked her. So this is awesome. Well, guys, here she is. Not gonna be one of those guys that says not the biggest, but
I could not care any less, honestly. This had my heart pumping just as much as any, buck or big doe. I shot a doe spot and stalk at 16 yards in Michigan this year that dressed out, weighed 122 pounds. So, honest to God, I couldn't be happier. And meat's going to go to a good cause. And she expired quickly. And when you get a deer that gets your heart pumping, expires quickly, and you get to reduce the population of does, especially the ones that are going to bust you next year. This doe is a very smart doe, and I don't know. I don't know. You don't know what they're going to do next year. Can't bank on next year. Maybe it was poor stand placement on my part, but she did see me. She knew all about me, and was not going to get by me without letting everybody in the woods know. So took her out, and we're going to make dinner out of her. My daughter's going to be super happy. My wife's going to be happy. Anytime you get to fill this Indiana tag as a non-resident is definitely a victory, and that's not really what we're seeking as hunters and bow hunters. We're out here chasing the experience, and like I said, I had kind of lost that experience a couple weeks ago when I was here, and I don't know whether it's gun season as a bow hunter. I don't know if you just get discouraged in that way, but I don't know. I just wasn't in it for the right reasons. I wasn't enjoying the sit. I was getting mad when I wasn't seeing deer, and that's not why I ever got into hunting. That's not what I want to be about. So I took a break from it for a while. Honestly, wasn't even sure I wanted to come today, and had this tag sit in my pocket for the last 60 days, and I don't know. I'm not saying it's burning a hole in my pocket. I've eaten this tag many years, and it's great because that $150 goes towards conserving this and protecting these animals. So if I burn that tag, and leave it sit, until the end of January when the season ends, I'm okay with that. But I'm also okay when I get to take home some venison with me, and I'm gonna get her dressed up and checked in, and we're gonna be on our way back home. Got one more tag to fill back home in Michigan, but couldn't be any happier bow hunting deer. So